Good morning, traders. Welcome back to the Everyday Growth Advisors live stream. It's time for Fundamental Wednesday. Feels like Christmas today. I don't know why, but it just does. Welcome into the live stream, all 35 of you. Thank you for taking your time out to being here. We have a smashing day today. I hope you guys hedged. We have been hedged since the top here, looking for a pullback down. And we're going to see how it turns out for the next few days. I'm hedged for a month out. So we have absolutely a lot of time on these puts that I bought. The ones that I have been holding for a while. They are actually up as of yesterday. One of them is up 10%. The other one's still down like, I want to say 15% or so. So pretty much hedged. And yeah, we have an interesting week ahead of us. Next 2 days, we'll definitely see more volatile stuff coming out. Inability to reach a stimulus deal. And when you see this many tabs open, you know it is Fundamental Wednesday. So it's time to get it down. Let's go have a look at the news. So let's have a look here. First of all, banks, I haven't looked at how they're performing, but this is a good one to look at. If you still haven't looked at how banks have performed, I say start looking at how the banks are performing, because this is the first batch of companies that report earnings are usually banks, okay? And banks provide liquidity to the system, and I mentioned this before in the previous quarters and the prior quarters. Excuse me. How banks perform usually sets the tone for the rest of the earnings season, okay? Obviously, banks are in a very unique position to be underperforming right now, but you have to keep in track what they're doing, okay, how they're performing. Because since they are the lender of resorts to many businesses, the way that they perform will directly affect how businesses will perform. If there's no liquidity for banks, there's no liquidity for the market. And if there's no liquidity for businesses, then how does Main Street get its money to perform business operations? So looking at how the banks will be performing will be the important thing to look at this week. And it will set the tone for the rest of the earnings season, okay? So we'll have a look, and you know, right off the bat, it looks like banks are performing worse than usual. So you know, market's starting to price in a little bit of bearishness with the financials here, which you know may or may not be a good thing. Headlines wise, countries start to hoard food as prices rise and COVID worsens. Ooh, sounds bad. World Food Program is winner of 2020. Okay, U.S. crop report. Worsening global food insecurity crisis. Oh no. I see. So yesterday they told you the markets were going up, and today they're telling you be prepared, the market is coming down because there's fear of food. You see how they play with you? You see how they play with you? Honestly. US stocks futures waver after mixed bank earnings. As I said, this is an important thing that you got to look at, so keep track of it, okay? Keep track of it. All right? All right? Evergrande, okay, whatever. C rallies China behind Shenzhen as tech fight heats up. All right. So for many of you that don't know, Shenzhen is in the Guangdong province of China, and is actually considered the tech epicenter of China. I used to, for a fun fact, I used to actually live in China for a while, and so I know how the system works there. And Shenzhen is actually a pretty nice place. I like it. It's pretty dope. It's got it kind of has a feel of like a more downscale New York kind of vibe, but like that's just the main city center though. I'm not talking about like the main, like every single area. It's actually it's pretty high tech in my opinion, and you know, you'll find all kinds of stuff there. Like there's literally these places where they're like mega malls with like just wholesale producers of like tech stuff, which is kind of dope. Japan's tax chief sees room to tweak terrifying tax for foreigners. What? Okay. No deal in sight for U.S. stimulus as impasse triggers rising tensions. And so you can see the news is starting to price in bearishness here. You know, this. Remember, the news follows the market, not the other way around. The market doesn't follow the news, okay? Let's see. C wants young Hong Kongers to move to China. Yeah, like that will happen. China wind giants surge more than 20% on aggressive proposal. Bank of America traders fall short of rivals as revenue forecasts missed. That sounds bad. And oh boy, something happened with Robinhood accounts. RIP. Okay, Bloomberg. let's look at Wall Street Journal, which is a little better at reporting stuff. Goldman Sachs third quarter profit nearly doubles. Why wouldn't it? The investment bank has been trading against all of us. U.S. stock futures edge down as bank earnings reports roll in. Goldman Sachs did better than expected, so the rest of I still remember, don't trust these headlines, by the way. Read your own stuff and make your own judgments. Don't follow like a sheep. It doesn't mean that the news reports something means it's true, okay? Do your own due diligence and make sure that you find out, because they could easily be bullcrapping. Oil recovery expected to falter through supply glut, though supply glut shrinks. Well, OPEC has to do something about that. BlackRock bets on UK electric vehicle startup arrival with the $118 million investment. What is this? Manufacturer Hyundai and Q. Okay, cool. And then unpopular IPO rule hands Chinese banks big windfall. Okay, Theranos founder Elizabeth Holmes loses bid to dismiss criminal charges. Oh boy, she about to get it real bad. This was one of the shocks, right, that happened recently. Okay, sounds slightly bearish to me, and I think the market might, take that as a hint to go bearish. Let's see. I personally don't want it to go bearish, but you know what? It wouldn't hurt that bad. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, yo, what's up? Welcome back, guys. Welcome. Melissa, how are you doing? Francesco, Nikens, Rishab, Andrew, DP, David, Shri, Matthew, Azucena. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrongly, but I'm trying my best. Welcome into the live stream, all 70 of you. Remember to smash that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't yet. This is a Monday to Friday stream. We cover different topics and we break the market down for you, so you don't need to do it yourself. What's up, Jared? Welcome back, man. Thank you for attending this live stream. Okay, so we have that. Now let's look at the Finviz heat map here. Early morning pre-market movers. We have Netflix. We have Apple, surprisingly priced in the earnings. So the release of the iPhone. So iPhone 12 looks pretty legit. I personally would upgrade, but yeah, I definitely do like the aluminum body, to be honest. Wait, it's stainless steel for the Pro, right? I definitely am feeling frisky to get it, but I don't think I'll get it anytime soon, though. I'll probably wait till, the first two waves are out, the bugs are squashed, and the kinks are done, I usually wait one quarter at least after Apple releases a new phone and people start getting it. Then when the hype dies down, then I get it, because it don't make no sense. It's no longer a fashion statement to hold the newest one. Back then when I was a kid, yeah, it was, if you were holding the latest iPhone, you were the kid on the block, Now it's whatever, everybody has an iPhone. It don't matter which one you have. You can have the iPhone 3, you'd probably be the coolest kid on the block right now, So banks are the ones getting hit the most here, but Goldman Sachs is doing better than usual, up 2%. Actually, all investment banks for capital markets doing better. Traditional banks, financials which are diversified, doing really badly. Bank of America doing badly, Wells Fargo. Basically, consumer banks, right? So these investment banks are the ones that pretty much have an edge against the markets, and they're trading against you and yada yada. Plus, don't forget that they have additional revenue stream, which is conducting these IPOs, which have been red hot recently. So, they make tons of money through those as well. Let's see here. What is the screen? Quest Diagnostics. This is AutoZone. And yeah, apart from that, what is this? Dish Networks. Now, if you attended yesterday's live stream, congratulations, because we played DocuSign yesterday, and it was a great play. I mentioned it and I called it out on the live stream. And this one was the one to play yesterday, and if you've been holding it overnight, boom, 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 we up. And we making money today, right? So remember, it always pays to attend this live stream. I did this breakdown with the Everyday Growth mentees, and so pretty much anybody who took this trade and was part of the mentorship course paid off their fees right away. I give things like that to you guys so that you can make money, and it's not because I want to show you that this stream is the shit, but what I want to do is show you that, the analysis that we do actually is something that we take based on our hard-earned analysis. You are not just doing this oh, it's hocus pocus magic sticks where we just point things towards a certain way and it becomes a certain way. We follow our trade setups. We are confident. We use a very definitive approach, and therefore these high success rate setups is what we concentrate on instead of concentrating on getting, I don't know, like 15 bad trades and then like one good trade that's 1,000%. I would rather make 3 to 4 really good trades that make 100%. And so DocuSign is one of them. I called this one out on the live stream yesterday. If you weren't here, I can't say much apart from that. Okay, so welcome into the stream. If you took it, then I took $240 calls and they're in the money now. Kind of not yet very deep, but they're in the money, right? Like $5 above the money. So yeah, looks like a good open for us to make some money today. So the people who took DocuSign and you made some money, congratulations. Don't forget, if you want to be kind, and you want to donate to the stream, there's an avenue to do that by sending a super sticker or a super chat, and that way you'll be directly supporting the upgrade of the stream, which is about to come in 2 to 3 weeks from now. So thank you for all of those people who have constantly showed me your love and support and bought me coffee and all of that. All of the money that you guys have donated to the stream is gonna go towards the upgrade, and I can't wait to show you what I have in store for you. So I'm super excited. I keep talking about it every stream. Like, I'm super excited about it. Okay. Hope you played Docu. Yep, we did that yesterday, Landon. So I'm glad that you played as well. Keeping hedges here. Seems like we're bossing off resistance on spine QQQ. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. You would have to wait hours in line to get the latest iPhone. People camped out. It was nuts. Oh yeah, that's crazy. I'm not doing that. But this stream is the shit. Well, I don't like to be over egoistic. I like to remain in a position where I'm neutral. Monday, you said you were stacking deltas. Could you explain what that means? Stacking deltas is the art of buying an option, and for every $1 of movement the stock goes up, you stack 1 delta. That's the idea, because delta moves per dollar move of the underlying. Great call. Thank you, Keston. Appreciate that. Good morning. Glad to see us all here. Welcome back, Carter. How you doing? Okay, great. Let's move on here. So not many pre-market movers here. Let's look at the actual pre-market movers. Investing.com here showing us the Dow Jones. Not many pre-market movers. Goldman Sachs up 2% on earnings. Apple barely anything there. Bank of America down earnings. Wells Fargo down, probably earnings as well. Travel stocks, Nasdaq, nothing much. JD, not much. We had some decent PPI news here. So producer price index coming in a little better than usual. Measures the change in the price of goods sold by manufacturers, leading indicator of consumer price inflation, which accounts for majorly overall inflation. Okay, interesting. Higher than expected, so a little better than expected. We have a FOMC member today talking. Seabull Cushing storage report. Oil will be at 9:30, and then the mortgage market index. So you can see the summary of the banks here. Bank of America, lesser revenues than expected. Wells Fargo beat on revenues, but then fell short on EPS. So probably something in their overall expenses there. Gotta have a look at what happened there. And then United Airlines will be reporting, I'm guessing, later today. So we will see what that is like. Now, tomorrow we have a whole bunch of companies again. Let's see here. Okay. By the way, there's a whole other bunch of companies that are reporting today. These all, none that are notable yet. Tomorrow, TSM. We have Morgan Stanley, Charles Schwab, E-Trade. We have, what else? So banks tomorrow again. Domino's Pizza. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's in the UK markets. That's not DPZ. Del Taco. And then, okay, that's it. That for tomorrow. And so you can also have a look at this week's earnings. Let's see, Wednesday, and then United Health on Wednesday. Bank of America. Yeah, okay, cool. Oh, United Health already reported, I'm guessing. And Thursday we have a bunch more. Oh, that's Thursday, sorry. Friday, I mean. It's gonna be another Bank of New York. So this week, mostly financials. LE Financial, yeah, all financials this week. Yep. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Let's see, pre-market here. Contour Resources, don't know what that is. Pilgrims, Grubhub, up 5%. What's that? Why? I wonder why. DocuSign, 2.85. That's the one we called out yesterday. Boom, boom, boom. Splunk, down 3%. Bank of America, Okay, cool. Nice. Oh, thank you, Keston. Appreciate the $5 donation. Thank you very much. How's it going? It's going pretty good, man. I feel like, this week is going to be a good week. So it's going to be a little hectic for me. FYI, guys. This Sunday, well, Saturday, Sunday, yeah, I'm going to be getting my new apartment. So this coming week is going to be a challenging week. I'm actually thinking that we might have to take a break from this stream on either Monday or Tuesday. But you know what? I may just continue to do it anyway and do it from my Surface Pro until I get my desktop computer set up. I wanted to get everything set up by next week, but it seems like it's going to be delayed for a while. So I'm moving into a new apartment on Sunday, and things are going to be a lot different once I'm there. Gonna get everything set up there. Gonna pretty much create like a mini studio in my room, and gonna be operating from there from Sunday onwards. So it's actually very exciting for me because I have been in a state of limbo since COVID hit, and right now I'm finally like saying, okay, this is my solidified position. I'm gonna try and make the best out of it. So this is something that is very great development for EGA and the way EGA is going to be going forward from here. So yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to it, and I can't tell you how excited I am for setting up this new direction for the stream, because I want to bring more value for you guys here, and I think these streams are going to be considerably better, especially since I'm going to be also signing up for a new brokerage account and stuff like that. I'm going to move some funds over from the US brokerage that I have with Robinhood, and then move it over to TD Ameritrade Singapore. They have been kind of really annoying with the setup here, and I needed an apartment to get my address and stuff like that, and bills and blah blah blah. And so now they're finally going to approve the account once I have all that stuff set up. So it's going to be great for me to finally solidify this thing here. But yeah, thank you for the $5 donation. Appreciate it. Every single dollar counts when I'm going to be building the system up. So yeah, you definitely appreciate it very much. Grab Walmart and AMD instead of Doctor yesterday. Dang, I got a next one. Good stuff on this stream. Thank you, Matthew. Yeah, we try. I try to point out the things that are most obvious to me. This was an easy one. It was consolidating near the resistance up here. Nice little scalped moving averages. Wanted to make a move up, but I would say at the open today, I would get rid of this contract. I'm going to take my profits on it. And you know what? This $5 move up there, easy 60-70% from yesterday. I was already up about 20% yesterday, so it should be up about 50 to 60% easily at the open today, and that should be a nice little profit. So once again, if you guys are here, please take a second out of your day to smash the like button. That really helps me out a lot. If you don't want to donate to the stream, the only thing that I ask from you is to hit the like button, because the like button will help the stream reach other people, and we want more people to be a part of the EGA tribe. This tribe is a family, and the family is very consistent, and I appreciate each and every one of you showing up day after day here to keep me company in the pre-market, because this is where we do really intense and important breakdowns that are educational, instead of throwing you the fish and telling you, oh yeah, take this trade, it's gonna do you good, and then it goes bad. So we concentrate on teaching you how to fish here, and that's what's important to me. Okay, and EGA is continually going to be improving the stream in order to do that. So I hope that you guys are ready for that. Shopify, okay, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, so let's have the SPY pre-market breakdown here. Nasdaq, SPY, Dow Jones. About 10 minutes left for that. I'll cover some things that I'm seeing here, and then we're going to get into AMD's fundamental analysis. Remember, this is Fundamental Wednesday. So, who's excited to find out how much AMD is worth? I hope you are. But there will be some important things that we'll have to go through before that. So, okay, let's look at it. So, NASDAQ. Initially, I thought it was a bull flag. Now I don't. Looking more and more like a topping out pattern. Looks like a head and shoulder here. I don't know if you guys see it, but I see it on the 1 hour. So this is a head. This is a shoulder here, right? Two shoulders and a head. right? And if we break below the neckline here, we're going to see some downside. So this is actually a bearish formation, okay? The neckline is going to be somewhere here, okay? So what we want to see, and we can see that, you know, NASDAQ kind of sold off and then bought up, and now it's starting to sell off again and forming a downtrend. So we'll see if the momentum can catch up or it's going to continue to run up here. Now, I'm not worried about my SPY puts, all right? They're for a month out. At most, in 2 weeks from now, I'll just roll them out for further expiry, all right? What I do think is through the election period, we're going to see increased volatility, okay? And the increased volatility will come in bouts, right? And yesterday, I told you guys, or when was it? Day before yesterday. I think on Monday, I told you guys to watch the VIX. The VIX is very important to watch here. And I said that we may get a run up here, okay? So I would say on the next chance that you get, if VIX dips even further, I would recommend when it does dip further and the IV drains out of calls, I would buy some cheap calls on VIX. You know, buy some $28 calls or buy something like that, because you know how quickly VIX can rally the moment the market sells off, okay? So keep that in mind, all right? Let's see here. Let's get shorting that. Press the like. Press that like so our family expands. Absolutely. Seriously, that would be really helpful if you guys press the like so that this family gets bigger. You know, that actually is a very nice thing to say. Hey boss, how are you feeling Tesla today? I'm going to talk about Tesla in a second. I actually feel bullish about it. I might day trade Tesla today. I'll show you guys what I see in a second. Zoom 550 call. Okay, yes. Is NASDAQ also showing a triple top? We'll get into that. Smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Yes, please smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thank you. Yeah, okay, so NASDAQ, this is not really a triple top, it's more of a head and shoulder pattern, okay, that's what I'm saying. Now for the, by the way, so what I said was the first target here would be the 23.6, and then the second would be the 38.2, and then the 50. This is where I see the last line of defense coming to, okay. The 61.8 here, whew, that would be amazing if we could touch that. But let's see if it actually happens. Okay, that would be actually coinciding with the bottom of this channel. But I don't think we're gonna go like that. We're not. We'll definitely, you know, have a couple of pit stops around the way, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, you know, something like that. You know, it's always like that, right? And market never goes in a straight line. Okay, so be wary of that. So that's for the NASDAQ. That's what I see. I think, you know, coming down here, it's an obvious move before we go back up to go to the all-time high. I don't think we just go back to all-time high just like that. It's just too simple. Too simple, man. With the SPY here, you can see we have, you know, more of a lesser gradient to cover here. So the 50 retracement is the most obvious, that coincides with the 61.8 from the downward expansion, top down. From this top to this down, this was a 61.8 extension down. And now from the bottom to the top, this is the 50 retracement down. So this two coinciding values here should be a pretty strong level for SPY to retrace to before we go back up. So remember, I never change these lines. So this is the level that we will be looking at for SPY to come down to bounce to, you know, before we see another uptrend here. Okay, and it's going to also coincide with the bottom of this channel. Okay, so this is what I'm actually looking at for the SPY perspective. All right, now from the Dow Jones, this one's a little bit more tricky, and I feel like the Dow Jones can actually, you know, sustain a shorter fall than both SPY and NASDAQ. I think that, in fact, when SPY and NASDAQ correct, Dow Jones is not going to move down heavily. That's what I feel. You know, the way that this has been moving so far, it's been moving pretty slowly and not very erratically. So the gradient, you can see there's a big difference between the gradient of movement between SPY, NASDAQ, and S&P 500. You can see how abrupt and crazy this gradient is versus this, which is a bit more mellow, and then this, which is completely more mellow, right? So those are the things that I'm looking at. Dow Jones, I think, will move the least down. That's what I think. But the 50 seems to be like a probable level. So 28,300, which is what I've been talking about. You know, this would be the level to watch. 28,300. All right, great. So that's your technical update. Technical analysis wise, still we're in a very strong uptrend here. Remember, on all three indexes we are on a strong uptrend. Okay, moving averages are nicely scalloped out. You know, we see great expansion in this market here with a little bit of exuberance. So we need a little bit of correction here to come back down to earth. Why is Nasdaq retracing good? Never mind. Do you see Apple coming down to 110? You answered it. Great. I got QQQ yesterday. 290 went 1030. Think about rolling over. Okay, let's see. Let's have a look later. I'll answer your questions in a second. In the meantime, smash the like button, guys. If you can, let's reach 100 likes today. You think we can reach 100 likes? It would be really cool if we can reach 100 likes. It would be awesome. Thank you very much for doing that, by the way. Okay, so who's ready for this AMD fundamental analysis breakdown? I was going through the 10Q, and then I read the same earnings slide that we had the last time. Read an earnings report from Morningstar, did the analysis on Morningstar, did the valuation for AMD, was looking at the revenues for AMD, and then found also, this is just like the AMD event that happened last week. But first, before all of that, what we want to really be looking at here is understanding how the semiconductor market works in the first place. Now, many of you guys trade stocks without understanding the cycles that they go through, all right? And I want to explain this to you so that you understand it. The semiconductor market is a cyclical market. I've explained this in the previous live stream on Monday, all right? AMD, NVIDIA, Micron, TSM, Intel, Qualcomm, all of these companies produce semiconductors or chipsets, and these are companies that go through cycles. There's a reason why they go through cycles, and I'm about to explain it to you, okay? So, first of all, I found this website, so all credits go to them, but I like stuff like this. It's just so much easier because they put up, graphics for you to kind of narrow it down. So, what happens with the semiconductor market is usually booms and busts. Exactly like this, okay? Semiconductor sales year over year, you can see from 1990 all the way to 2018. And usually these conductors, they operate within 4-year cycles, okay? That's generally the trend, all right? Usually 2 years worth of down and then 4 years worth of up. 2 years down, 4 years up. That's usually the boom-bust cycle of semiconductors, okay? And you can see that since the 2000s, the semiconductors have actually started to experience softer down cycles because we've been in a tech boom, okay? And so the magnitude of the sales decline have no longer been as large as they were before. Before 2000s, before the dot-com bubble, we weren't really that interested in semiconductors, and now we are, okay? Because they drive every single electronic that we use, right? So the widespread use of semiconductors has created a multitude of end-use products, minimizing the impact of PC demand changes on the semiconductor cycle, okay? So as the number of end-use products continue to grow, the overall demand will be more stable, resulting in milder down cycles. Now, why is the semiconductor industry cyclical? It's because it's driven by fluctuating sales growth numbers, which are caused by distribution of supply and demand dynamics. So here is a great little infographic to show you why this happens, okay? So, first of all, this industry is prone to over and underestimations in production. This is really important. Given how dependent we are on technology, you can see, right? For electronic products, we generally try to anticipate how many of it we need. Like, for example, let me give you like a real example, right? Let's say last week, AMD released these chipsets, right? They launched the AMD Ryzen 5000 series desktop processors, which are the fastest gaming CPUs in the world, right? Now, AMD needs to forecast how many of these they need to produce for their consumers. But the problem is, initially, the production level, as it ramps up, what happens? There is a huge demand for this product. Okay? There's a huge demand for this product here. And so as production ramps up, AMD can't just overproduce, right? Because, if you have the supply and demand curve, right? If you oversupply, then what happens to prices? Then the demand that's already, if demand doesn't catch up as fast, then you've oversupplied. You've kind of priced yourself out of the market, okay? because now you have far too many chipsets that people are not going to buy, right? But then if demand is too high and you don't produce as much, then what happens? Then you have overpriced chipsets that you sell at a premium price, but then you're not maximizing revenue, right? So you have a revenue default here that causes a sorry, I didn't mean to type a W there. A revenue maximization strategy here that's not efficient for the market that you're in, right? So the buying opportunity initially over here is when the first production happens, right? There's usually a first throw here, which is the undersupply phase, okay? And when, for example, when AMD is starting to come up with a new chipset, they're starting to think, okay, we need this, chipset, and we're going to produce it, and we need this many of it. But then demand is like overwhelming at that point, right? Because demand is slightly increasing all the time, right? And if a new chipset is released, then everybody wants it. Like, for example, if you're a kid and you're 20 years old and you're obsessive about your graphics on your computer, you're probably going to pay whatever price it takes to get that chipset. Why? Because your personal demand is inelastic, right? Your personal demand is inelastic. For Christmas, when your parents ask you what you want, you're going to be like, I want the AMD Ryzen, 5000 CPU, whatever, right? Because for you, that's the only thing you want. And so that's what you will buy, irregardless of what the price is, okay? So initially, there is a phase where the buying opportunity is when the undersupply phase is there, okay? And then usually what happens is supply catches up, okay? Supply catches up over here where it corrects the demand, all right? This is where the corrected of the demand happens, okay? The end user demand is noted by this one here, right? So then you have, okay, demand catches up, everything's good, it's stable, right? So this is what causes the cycle. You see that? It causes a cycle because there's a period of underproduction and then there's a period of overproduction. What happens eventually is the company ramps up too quickly and then the demand phases out because there is only a finite amount of PCs that can upgrade, but then they overproduce and this causes a oversupply, okay? And so this is the hallmark of why semiconductors companies always tend to go through these cycles. It's because they over and underestimate what they need, all right? And then comes the next bust cycle, right? Because this oversupply phase, then prices come down, right? And so then they're capturing a lower willingness to pay for their chipsets, right? They suddenly have to sell those chipsets at a lower price. And so what happens to chipset prices is they go from production, right? They go from super high prices and then they slowly dwindle down to go to super low prices. And this causes a very big spike in revenues for these semiconductor companies, okay? So because the revenue mix is very erratic, you will literally see this on the balance sheet of the company. Like you can, here's what I'm, look at this. Look at this. Just look at the quarterly year-over-year growth of AMD's revenues. Can you see that? It's like sometimes down, sometimes up, sometimes down, sometimes up, sometimes down, sometimes up, sometimes down, sometimes up. And this cycle will continue because they can't accurately predict how much of this stuff they need, okay? You don't know how many people need CPUs. You can predict it, but you will never know, okay? So this is one of the reasons why these cyclical companies have a hard time predicting these markets, okay? So the supply of semiconductors tend to vary a lot more, and this is mainly due to adjustments in production levels, right? As that's what I was saying. When times are good, manufacturers tend to overestimate demand and produce more than the market can absorb. So this causes that cycle, okay? And over time, the high production level eventually becomes unsustainable as inventory starts to build, and then you have oversupply. And then what does the manufacturer do? They're like, oh my God, we have too much. We need to start selling. And then they lower the price, right? And they cut down production. And then they have excess inventory. And then what does it do? It causes sales growth to fall, right? Even though when demand is relatively stable, it causes the sales growth to fall because now they have to sell it at a lower margin. It's just because of their own efforts, okay? So it is the excessive adjustments in production levels that leads to fluctuating sales. And this causes the cyclical nature of the earnings of the semiconductor industry. Okay, so you can literally see it here. For example, NVIDIA, and this is by Bloomberg IFAST, inventories versus NVIDIA's stock price. You can see when inventories are super high, look at NVIDIA's stock price. So where are we right now in this semiconductor cycle? Well, it's pretty easy to figure that out, right? New chipsets just got launched, right? Which are supposed to be the fastest gaming CPUs in the world. Where do you think we are in the cycle? Where do you guys think we are in the cycle? That's the question. Try to answer that in the chat and we'll see if we're right. In the meantime, I'm going to forge ahead here. So, AMD here. Just going to go through a couple important things here from the management's commentary. Net revenues for 3 months ended 1.9 billion, 26% increase compared to the year over year. And then increase was 45% in computer gaming and graphics net revenue, partially offset by 4% decrease in the enterprise. Okay, and now due to higher sales of the Ryzen processors. Remember, if you weren't part of the stream last week, we covered a very important thing about AMD is they have look at the amount of big companies that they work with. Okay, began initial production of next gen game console SoCs for Sony PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. So they're producing those chipsets. Microsoft ePike processors to power Office Online applications with more than 200 monthly users. Tencent using their ePike processors. Google using their ePike processors for the confidential computing VMs. AWS using ePike processors for the EC25C5A. I have no idea what the heck that is. Dell, HP, and Lenovo using ePike processors. Okay, and they are on track to begin shipping the Zen 3 for the Zen 3 Milan for data center CPUs in late 2020. Okay, now looking at their Q2 summary, profit and loss gap here, generally accepted accounting principles. They have let's just look Q over Q, right? It's up 8%. Gross margins up 30 million, and you have net income down about 5 million. So overall, company's doing all right year over year. You know, not that crazy. Okay, and then you have non-GAAP wise, it's about the same. I want to say about the same. So segment results. Net revenues down 5%, operating income down, net revenues up for enterprise and embedded, computer graphics down, all other categories down. So they have 1.7 billion cash on hand, accounts receivable at 1.7 billion as well. That's quite a lot. Inventories at 1.3 billion. So what is the easiest way to track AMD's boom and bust cycle? After I just explained, after what I just explained, what do you think is the easiest way to track AMD's boom and bust cycle? What do you think? Let's see if you guys can critically think what you would use as an accurate measure for their boom and bust cycle. It's pretty easy to figure it out if you think about it. What is the thing that causes the boom and bust cycle that I just projected? Think about that for a second, and then think about what, you know, would be the best thing to track it. Total cash balance up big time, right? Nice. They're holding more cash because of COVID, which is good. I like that as an investor. I think they should be holding more cash right now. And so increased quarterly revenue 26%, growth driven by Ryzen, and then expansion, blah, blah, blah. Building the best, okay. And this is just a summary. Okay, we don't need that no more. All righty. Can we get more interaction here? What do you guys think? What do you guys think is the, where are we in the cycle? Or how do you track the cycle? Nobody want to give it a go? Let's see if somebody can get it while I continue this here. Now, okay, cash equivalents, and then they have a bunch of these chipsets that they're starting to sell. Focus remain, okay, intend to discuss this, results of operations, okay. So this is basically the same thing, just put into a different form. This is the 10Q, by the way. And what is the important stuff here? Licensing gain, marketing and general expenses up 26 million. 14% compared prior to the previous year. Interest expense, okay, not too bad. Income tax, all right. Financial condition, liquidity. Let's see here. Okay, good. Cash equivalents. Compared to 1.5 cash. Okay, cool. All right, that's awesome. So far, so good. Contractual obligations other than a 200 million borrowing under the secured revolving facility. There's no changes. Okay, good. Critical accounting estimates. All right. Legal proceedings. All right, we'll see that in a different part. And then these are all their basic stuff that they're saying. If we do something wrong, we are not gonna be liable. This is what that is. Let's see here, balance sheet. Nope, not the balance sheet. They got a lot of cash plus new chips. Just came out, so they're the beginning of an upcycle. Demand about to boost and gonna go over supply zone next. That is absolutely correct. Great job there. Yes, that is absolutely correct. So they just put out new chips. So what's gonna happen now? Now everybody wants the new chips, right? So they just released the Ryzens or whatever that is supposed to be the best chips in the world, right? And so now is the next cycle that's gonna start, right? 2019, there was a semiconductor bust. I don't know if you guys know about this. In 2019, there was a semiconductor bust, okay? I'm not sure if many of you know, but yes, in 2019, there was a huge sell-off with semiconductors. It was sometime here, in the mid of the year, it was here, okay? And so then after that, COVID came along and then AMD got sold off big time here. But what's important to note here is if you simply want to track where this company is booming or busting, you just keep track of inventories. Keep track of the inventories on hand. That's the easiest way, right? If you see rising inventories without them liquidating those inventories and inventories are building quarter over quarter, that's how you know that they're going to be busting soon, right? So the moment you see that inventories are increasing quarter over quarter, and they're not having a sustainable sales increase, which is in coordination with inventories, then you can simply make the assumption that they are overstocking inventory, right? That's the easiest way, all right, in my opinion. So I hope that helps you to further understand this stuff. Okay, let me see if I can scroll this down what the important parts are here. Actually, not much that here is important. So let's go over to the valuation here. Also, let's see what the bulls and the bears say on Morningstar. This is a Morningstar research report. So their fair value estimate is $31 as of 29 July. I think there's a later report that they haven't uploaded, which I will probably find sometime later. Bulls are saying that the recent CPU and GPU offerings have been more competitive with Intel and Nvidia's products, and moved to TSMC 7nm process technology. They actually moved to 5nm technology, so they're actually ahead of the curve. AMD's GPUs are highly sought after in cryptocurrency mining. Should blockchain technology take off, AMD could be well positioned to take advantage. AMD has a sight set on Intel's dominant server CPU market, and its ePike server chips have proved to be comparable with certain Intel chips in some benchmark tests. You can see that now coming to fruition just a couple months later. This report was written in... Sorry, this report was on the 9th of October. So it's actually updated. It's just that they haven't done a fair value estimate. Okay, that's not... I guess this report's pretty updated then. Intel remains a dominant player. So now we move on to what the bears say. Intel remains the dominant player in processor market, holds long-term advantages in AMD, and SPX ranging from R&D and marketing pricing. Okay, this is where I have a problem with this. Intel actually has a delay for their chipset processing, so this is going to be a big problem for Intel in the near future. NVIDIA is far ahead of AMD in GPU technology and also incredible success leveraging its GPU. That is pretty true. NVIDIA does a far better job at that, and they're more of like the creme de la crop of GPUs and AI intelligence stuff. AMD's lack of size make it difficult to sustain momentum against the likes of Intel and NVIDIA, which have considerably deeper pockets. Interesting. Okay. So you can have a look at this report if you like. I think it's available on Robinhood Gold if you want to have a look at it. Apart from that, let's have a look at this valuation here. Let's see. Thank you for the likes, guys. If you are here and you're enjoying the stream so far, make sure you smash the like button. We do this stream Monday through Fridays, and you know, I really appreciate you taking the time out to be here. Okay, now have a look at these financial ratios here. So return on equity 23%, not too bad for the past 3 years annualized. Return on assets is 10%, ROIC 18%, and net margins at 8%. These are actually pretty good values for a company that is part of the semiconductor cycle. The price to earnings ratio of this company now signals that this company is way overvalued. You know, quite ridiculous. Okay, and I also personally think AMD is overvalued. Okay, the quick ratio of the company and the current ratio are showing a pretty healthy asset over liability. With quick ratio a little lower because they have inventories on hand. Remember, this is a company that produces inventory. Interest coverage at 10.55, which is good. More than 3 is a good sign. And lower debt to equity, less than 1 is a good sign. This is 0.27, so they have very little debt compared to equity. It's a pretty good business health, okay? But does it really justify this huge valuation? I don't think so, okay? So here's my fair value estimate based on what I see here, and we're going to make some amendments to this. Probably going to see a big increase in revenues this year, next year, and then you can start to taper this off. So let's actually change this to 30. Oops. We're going to change this one to 20 and this one to 15, and then this to about 25, because we know that in the next 4 years we'll see the start of a new cycle. So actually, let's just make it 30. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, and then 20, and then 15. No, this will become. Sorry, wait. What did I just do? No, this one. Oh, this one was minus 25. Sorry. There we go. Okay, and then the perpetual growth rate after that. So these numbers are being pulled from the revenues here, the cycles itself. Okay, so I've taken those numbers on a separate Excel sheet and extrapolating those numbers into here. And that's what I'm pretty much doing over here. The capex is going to remain at about 2.9% arranged throughout. Working capital at about 13.6% across the board. That's for the past quarters. Depreciation and amortization at 3%, sounds about right. Tax rate 8%, sounds about right. Discount rate a little higher than usual because of COVID. We're going with slightly higher discount rate. We can actually be a bit more conservative with this and go, 9.5 is the high end. We can do that and see how that actually pans out. 9.5, 9, and then 8.5. Yeah, okay, that makes a little bit more sense. And then the terminal value here would give us these selected exit multiples. So the fair value estimate for this business shows about $62. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, this stock is now overvalued. It has a 26% downside, 27% downside. So our target for this stock price is $62, which is here. This is where the fair value estimate of this business is in the long run. We're not saying that this stock price is going to come down to here within the next 2 or 3 weeks. We're talking long term. Okay, we're saying this is the value of the business right now based on the future cash flows. All right. Now, it doesn't mean that AMD can't continue to rally. It can, and it absolutely probably will, because there's a lot of bullishness that's surrounding the stock right now. Okay, but what I do see over here is I would really like to see a nice little downtrend, another wave down, along with the market momentum pushing down on it. Okay, Nasdaq sell off. Okay, and we get a nice little entry to AMD somewhere around here. This is where I want to see the entry. In this zone, $82 or $80, $81. This is the zone. Like in this purple box, anywhere. That's where I would like to buy AMD. Okay, so I've already queued up. This is where I want to purchase the stock and or options on it, and then ride this up to the next wave up. So this is what I'm looking at right now, short term wise. Okay, short term wise. Cool. Now, so that's your fair valuation of AMD. Let's have a look at something that I'm looking at for a day trade today. Tesla, breakout of this bullish pennant. You can see this breakout, and I'm almost pretty sure that this stock is going to break out to the upside. Almost, it is already pre-market already up $4, so up about 1%. I would say, you know, high chance that it starts to test this upper band here. Which is kind of awesome, because I got 460 lotto calls that started this week, and so this is going to actually pay off. I mentioned it in the trading floor on option swing. So yeah, I took some lotto calls, and they're probably going to pay off with Tesla. We'll see how it performs, but I'm planning to day trade this a little bit today. Let's look at the 5-minute chart here to show you what I'm looking at here. A really nice uptrend. You can see a really good kind of a strong little ascending pattern here. So there we go, and if I can get this on the dot, jeez. Okay, there we go. So we've already broken above this wedge here, and so Tesla may continue to run today. I highly recommend waiting for a corrective wave first, and then getting in on the pullback. Up to 460 is my target. If we drop a fib here, we can see where the aggressive targets will be. So let me do that for you and show you where will be these you know, important levels today. So we'll be looking from here to here. So yeah, we're looking at 456 to be the first target at the 61.8. That's the first aggressive target here. So 452 probably going to be hit pre-market, 456 the next, and then 460 after. If you're trading weekly contracts, be extremely careful. Make sure that it's a Wednesday today. Try to get out before the lunchtime today. All right. I know that there were a lot of people who were asking me about tickers today, and I unfortunately was not able to get to them, so I'm sorry. But I'll try to do as many as I can right before I get out here. So let's see. Shopify 1250 calls for 1023. That's next week expiry. I think your strike is way too far. Your strike is way too far, and you're too aggressive with your strike price. I'm sorry, but it's probably not gonna get there. You need more time on that. Shorting net 55 puts 12 18. Net 55. Wait. Oops. Cloudflare. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, this one makes sense. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. I would definitely buy that with my eyes closed. Landon, that's a good one. Might actually add this to my list to do today. Net puts. That's I'm definitely gonna get one of those. Looks like and what I would really like to do here is see what the IVs are on this, and maybe even sell some calls. Let's see. I'll go have a look at it later and see what the IVs are. But that's a good one. I just went through what I feel about Tesla. Zoom 550 call for 1023. Would it be best to sell at open? Let's see. I feel like it's about to make another run. It might make another run. It just broke out of this wedge. Let's see if it does. I would hold it throughout the day and see how Zoom performs, to be honest. That's what I would do. Set a stop loss. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to do with Zoom. Set a stop loss above your entry price so that you can't lose money on it. I got QQQ yesterday, 290, 1030. Think about rolling QQQ, 290, 1030. I would hold it. 290, 1030 should be okay. Should be okay. I would hold that. RKT 25 calls 1030. RKT 25 calls for 1030. Oh yeah, this is looking great. Damn, why didn't I think of that? Okay, RKT is another one. These are 3 pretty decent trades for today. RKT looks interesting. Nice downtrend, now recovering back up. We have the first 2 waves already. Buying in on the second dip will be nice. That's what I would see. Yeah, I would hold that one. Looks good. Netflix 575 calls for 1023. I'll probably do a couple more of these and then I will get off here. Netflix 575. By the way, guys, today, avoid being trigger happy, all right? Don't make any decisions within the first 1 hour of the market open, all right? Seriously, it's Wednesday. It's like, these are the spooky days. You got to be really careful. So take it slow. Don't be trigger happy about trading today. Wait for the market to pick a direction, okay? Let things settle down first. So you're saying Netflix 575 calls by 1023. Probably not a good idea. That's what I would say. I was just looking at this today with the mentorship course, and I don't know why, but we feel like Netflix has had a pretty substantial run and it needs to come down a little bit. But it is rallying ahead of earnings, which are coming up. That's the reason why this is going. So if you're already in the calls, then sell them off. That's what I would do. Take the profits. Nobody ever gone broke taking profits. TSM 100 calls for leaps next year. Probably a good idea. Okay. Tesla, I just went through this. NEO, let's see here. Any others? Tesla has a strong resistance. 450. A correction should happen early in the day. Yep, I think so too. So wait for that correction and then get in. That's what I'm saying. Hey T, would you recommend for entry for what would you recommend for entry and strike on Tesla? I know you mentioned it before. You read this question though. Okay, so what I see and what I'll be looking for is this. I will be waiting for Tesla to come down to 548-ish, this level, or if even possible, come down to cover the gap. If it can come down and cover the gap, it would be beautiful at 446. But I'm very sure that it won't, and it's best if it actually bounces on this top resistance here. I want it to bounce and start making a first wave and a second wave. On the second wave is when I will enter to the upside. All right, that's what I'm going to do with Tesla. The entry strike will probably be slightly out the money, so I will take 460s or 470s, 465 maybe, 460 to 465, and I'll do probably a weekly option to day trade it. So this week expiry, but then I'll sell it before lunch if possible. That's the game plan there. That way you can really maximize your gamma and delta. All right, cool. Thank you for everybody else who attended the stream today. Thank you for attending. Make sure you smash your like button on your way out, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for another webinar on how to build a long-term portfolio. We're going to go over dividends, and we're going to go over what my investment strategy is, how I operate between 2 portfolios. And if you want to attend that webinar, come through the same time tomorrow. I'll be spending about 30 minutes to go over my investment style and give you guys some tips. So thank you for attending this webinar, this live stream, and I'll see you tomorrow for the webinar. Have a great trading day. Remember, wait before trading today. Do not get trigger happy. Don't be taking things right off the market open, all right? Have a good one, guys. Peace out. Bye.